Good evening, universe. Tonight I'm going to be talking about all of my reading goals for 2023. My first goal of the year is that I want to get my TBR, my physical TBR, down to only 15 books. I currently have, at my last count, 42 books on it, so I want to read 27 books to get it down to 15. Originally, I had the idea of getting it down to 10 this year, but with the other reading plans that I have, I just don't think getting it down to 10 is going to happen. So the goal is 15. I think that's nice and doable, and it'll make it easier for me to achieve. Next, I also want to read 5 non-fantasy books this year. Last year, I had this same goal of reading 5 non-fantasy books, which I thought would encourage me to branch out a little bit, which it did. I now enjoy thrillers a little bit. Fantasy is still my number one favorite, but I am also starting to enjoy thrillers and mysteries, so I'm going to be continuing to read those this year. The first one that I'm going to be reading, I'm probably going to start actually later today, which is In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. Jenny from This Story Ain't Over mentioned this, and it really caught my interest, so I'm excited to give this a try. Other than that, I'll probably mostly be reading these over the summer because I tend to be more in like a thriller type mood when it's summertime. I'm probably not going to branch too far out of thriller once again this year. I'm probably going to stick with those for my non-fantasy just because I'm enjoying it. And I've tried some other genres and they're just not really working for me. I might also check out some science fiction this year. I have touched on science fiction in the past, but it hasn't really grabbed me as much as fantasy has. So this might be a good year to dive into that genre a little bit more. I might also read a memoir or two. Last year I really enjoyed Smoke Gets in Your Eyes by Caitlin Doughty. This year I might read a little bit more of her stuff and similar kinds of memoirs. My third goal for this year is to read 45 books. This is a little bit higher than I have done in the past. I know some people like to go for the 100 a year goal. That I know is not what I want to do even. I don't read that fast. I don't have the time to read that many books. It's just not going to happen. But I think 45 is solid because it's a little bit higher than my previous years and it takes into account all of my reading goals. So since I want to read 27 from my physical TBR, that's already like a big chunk of that 45. Plus that takes into account some of the new releases that are coming out this year that I'm excited for, as well as just gems that I happen to find at the library or at the bookstore. 45 books puts me at just a little bit less than an average of 4 per month, which I think is totally doable. Even with school and work, I think I can manage that. Originally, I had set it at 35, but then I realized that that would only be the 27 on my TBR plus a very tiny handful of other things. And I figured that just was not going to work with my other goals, especially since I'm planning to read 5 non-fantasies. I already have some books from the library that I'm excited to check out that are not included in my physical TBR. And there are lots of books coming out this year that I'm excited to check out as well. So 45, I think, just works the best. Last year, I think I read 50 books or 51 books. So I know I can do it, even though I will be going to school the entirety of this year instead of just one half like I did last year. But the breaks in my program are also pretty large, so that'll give me a little bit of extra reading time as well. Also, this is not a reading goal, but a writing goal. I am once again hoping to finish my book this year. I have one that I'm working on. I'm about, I think, 8,000 words in, so not too far, but I do believe this is going to be the year that I finish it. It's been a long time since I finished writing a book, and I would really like to get in that habit again. So those are pretty much all of my bookish goals for this year. Let me know what your bookish goals are down below, whether that be reading or writing or anything else related to books. I would love to hear about it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and have a great night, universe.